to day 2 of our free 3-part training. Today we'll be going over how to enjoy a life of luxury when it comes to driving. Now the 5 methods to owning a car in Guyana are: number 1, buy from a private dealer. This is very cost effective and usually you would know the car. You would probably have driven the car before. It's your neighbor, it's your friend, it's your family. If you have a low budget, you're better off buying a car from a private owner. Number 2, buy from an auto dealer. Auto dealers does have a wide variety of cars to choose from. However, the car might be a bit expensive, and then it might be a damaged car that they cover up, so you have to be careful when you're buying from auto dealers. However, they offer financing and they offer great deals in terms of take now, pay later, depending on which auto dealer you meet. However, if you have cash in hand, I will recommend you purchase the car online, which is method number 3 of getting a new car in Guyana. You can purchase online, but there are risks involved when it comes to purchasing online. You have to purchase from a trusted company. You have to know how to remit money, which bank is best to remit money to the company, and how long it's going to take for the vehicle to arrive, how much duty you'll have to pay, and if you already have a custom broker to do that for you. So it's a little bit complicated when you're purchasing online, but it's cost effective. That's up to you to choose. Or you can import your own. If you're a foreigner returning to Guyana, per se a remigrant, you are granted duty-free concession. But in order to qualify for duty-free concession, you must own your vehicle at least 6 months in the foreign country that you live, whether in Canada, United States, England, or any Caribbean country. You must be approved for duty-free concession status before shipping that vehicle to Guyana. Also, you must make the necessary arrangements to clear it once you reach our port of entry in Georgetown. There is a basic requirement to be a remigrant. You must reside in Guyana 8 months of every year, and you're not permitted to sell your vehicle within 3 years of importing it into Guyana. Number 5 on our methods to obtaining a vehicle in Guyana is you win a free car. Hey, everybody wants to win a free car. If you stay tuned and keep following Ray's Driving Academy, we will be giving out a free car sometime in the near future. Keep on the lookout for that. And number 6 on the 5 methods. I know that doesn't make any sense, but number 6 on the 5 method to owning a car in Guyana is stealing one. That's why it doesn't make any sense. Because if you steal one, you'll get a free ride in the police car and free stay at our Camp Street prison or the Mackenzie prison, whichever you choose. Now we've just gone over the 5 methods in obtaining a new car in Guyana, but they have put together 5 factors to consider when choosing which of the methods to choose. So, the 5 factors to consider when to choose what, the who, the when, the where, and the why when it comes to buying a vehicle are: number 1, you have to consider quality. Quality in terms of a used vehicle, a vehicle from the dealer, a vehicle online. You have to decide which is the best quality for you that you can afford. Factor 2 to consider is service. What kind of customer service do you get when you buy from a private dealer, a private seller, or an auto dealer, or you purchase online? Factor number 3 is time. Is time on your side? If you need a car right now, right away, your best bet is to buy from a private dealer or an auto dealer. However, if you already have a vehicle and you want to upgrade to another vehicle and time is not of major importance to you, you can purchase one online. Number 4 factor is the price. Well, you're wondering probably why the price still at number 4, because for most of us price is number 1. However, I don't think price is number 1. That brings us to quality over quantity, value for money. Therefore, if you want quality and service, you should be willing to pay a little bit more to get more. The number 5 factor to consider is risk. The risk factor, which is very important. When you're buying from an auto dealer, you run a risk of having a crashed vehicle, but it was fixed up so you don't know. Or when you buy online, you run a risk of losing all your money because you're buying from a website or a company that is not trustworthy or you're acquainted with. However, there's no risk in winning a free car, but there's 100% risk in stealing one. So definitely it's not something you should do. Now that we have gone over the 5 methods of getting a new car in Guyana and the 5 factors to consider when choosing which of the method to use, I've put together a checklist of what you need to buy, to use when you're buying a new car. So let's take a look at that. When buying a new car, it can be a little bit confusing and overwhelming at times. So I've put together a checklist, but it's so long and huge, we're not going to go into full details. We'll just get over a few main points to consider to make you aware of what you need to be looking at when you're buying a car, either from a private seller or auto dealer, or if you're trying to import on your own. So if you're trying to buy online or any car you're trying to buy, an important thing to look at is the year, the make, the model, and the mileage of the car. That alone will tell you the worth of the car. Some people buy cars for luxury, some buy for commute, and when you're buying a car from a private person, bill of sale is pretty important. It's best you go to a JP or a lawyer to complete a bill of sale. And compliance, you must be paying your tax up to date and have a letter of compliance from Guyana Revenue Authority, whether you're buying a car or selling a car. Financing is another important factor to consider. Whether you're leasing or you're financing, whether you're financing in-house from the seller or you are going through a financial institution, probably a bank. And when you're buying online, it's really tricky. One major factor to consider is the engine size, because in Guyana we calculate GT primarily on the size of the engine. You want to stay under 1500 cc. Cc is cubic centimeter, is the measurement of an engine. When choosing a car online or trying to figure out what all these little abbreviations mean, AW is alloy wheel, like rims. PW is power window. PM, power mirror. PS, power steering. AC is AC. We all know about AC and CD. RHD is right-hand drive. In Guyana, we drive right-hand vehicle. You are better off driving a right-hand vehicle because you can see better when you're overtaking. If not, the driver will be in the corner all the time. And if RHD is right-hand drive, LHD will be left-hand drive. FWD is front-wheel drive. RWD is rear-wheel drive. AT means automatic transmission. MT is a manual transmission where you have to change gear and it has a clutch. CIF is C is the cost of the vehicle, I is insurance on the vehicle, and F is the freight of the vehicle. So when a vehicle is imported to Guyana and duties are to be calculated, you're paying duty on the total amount of cost of vehicle, insurance, and freight, which we call the CIF. Duties are usually charged in US dollar paid to Guyana Revenue Authority. Be careful when you're looking at the odometer of a vehicle, if it's in kilometer or miles, because if a vehicle is in miles, it will be at 100 miles, that's 160 kilometers. So be careful not to confuse kilometer with miles. ABS is anti-lapse brake system. And lastly, you should know the difference between petrol and diesel fuel. For a complete checklist on each method of buying a vehicle, stay tuned for our later videos. Keep on the lookout for our next video on the 5 obligations to become a good and defensive driver. In the meantime, keep dreaming big, stay focused, work hard, get a coach, and enjoy a life of success. I'll see you in the next one.